All right, all right. I think we're good to go ahead and start here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. And welcome on in. First of all, Delicate, thank you so much for following. Welcome on in. I unfortunately was away from my computer when you followed, so I didn't see it. But welcome on in. Um, yeah, hope everybody's having a great Wednesday so far. Great midpoint of the week. Um, I'm actually really doing really good because if you saw my uh Twitter before we started stream or about a few hours ago, I had a post saying that I might be about a half hour late to stream tonight because I did have to do some stuff after work. I had to do some errands and get that done. But thankfully, where I work, they do this like, they're very flexible and they're very casual with like, coming in and leaving. Um, where if I like you can show up, if you show up a half hour early, you can leave a half hour early. Or sorry, if you show up a half hour early, you can leave a half hour early. And that's basically what I did today. And because I did that, I was able to make it on time. But I was rushing. I will admit, I really was rushing to get here a little bit on time. Um, I had to go through a drive-through just to get something quick, just to snarf down just really quickly some dinner before starting here. And of course, when I go through the drive-through, it was one of those like drive-throughs that's like split, so there's like two lanes. And of course, I go in the lane that lane's shorter. I'll go in that one. And then of course, that was the lane that took longer because the people in front of me had bigger orders. And of course, when normally I wouldn't care, like that stuff doesn't bother me, but like because I was in a rush, because I'm like, oh, I want to make it back, and I think I can make it back in time to stream and everything. Um, thankfully I did. So that's why we're here now. So ignore that, ignore that tweet that I put earlier today, where it said like, oh yeah, might be late. Nope, we're not late. We are exactly on time, perfectly on time. But yeah, and then so something else with this stream. This stream is going to be different. It's going to be a little bit of a play test of something. Um, that's not going to be super noticeable to you guys watching right now, but it will be noticeable to the people watching the VOD. Basically, I have now set up my OBS where all of my audio is split. So before I was just doing the default thing of all of my desktop audio was just coming through one thing. My background music, the sound alerts, the things that Lewis says and all that kind of stuff was all coming through one spot. So what I decided um was that I wanted to well, because what started all this is because when I uploaded my April Fool's VOD to YouTube, it had a it had a copyright thing on it. And I was so like where it was blocked in certain countries with the copyright. And I was so annoyed by that. And because that's the only time that's ever happened was for that stream. Because I use different background music. The background music that you hear right now, I've been using a bunch and I've had no problems with because it's mostly video game music, so it doesn't really cause any problems with copyright. But so that's kind of I've talked about this on a couple streams ago, and huge shout out to Flora, Ocean Flora. She was very very sweet and very kind, and sent me some links to show me how to split the audio and how to make it so that your VODs, the music won't be playing in the VODs. So with that and like a few other things, I was able to set up so now all of my audio is split. So if you're watching the VOD back right now, you should not be hearing in background music. I'm testing it with our normal background music because I don't want to play a bunch of like, just copyright stuff thinking like, yeah, this will work, and then suddenly I get like a million strikes. So I'm testing it with our normal background music that I know is okay. Um, but it also is great because that means now like, when we play a game, I can control the game audio. If I'm in a Discord call, I can control the Discord audio, and the alert audio, I can control all of that. And Lewis, talking, I control his audio too. So now he's louder, compared to what he was before, because he was a little quiet at times um, in our previous streams. Uh, but yeah, so that's how this stream is going to be a little bit different. It's going to take me a little bit probably to like get used to all the audio being split and having to like, kind of work around that. But I think everything should be okay. Um, so yeah, so I think let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit real quick for all any new people in chat. Let's do a because I think it's been a while since I've done this. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. So first, let me make myself shrink myself down here. Oh, whoa, whoops, too far. All right. So get ready for a Victorian child jump scare. Three, two, one, boom. All right. So this is a photograph that I bought. Hey, Josh, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening. So, and Toki, hello. Welcome on in. Hope you guys are having a great evening. So yeah, so just a quick summary. This is a photograph that I bought at an antique store back around Christmas. It's from 1888, and it's of a girl's birthday party. There are 24 people in this photograph in total, um, and we are basically trying to find every single one. And so far, or sorry, and because of the back of the photograph, um, the back of the photograph has the full names of every single person in this photo. And so far, we have researched 22. We have researched 22 of them. Uh, Last week we researched Pearl, and today we're going to be researching number 23, who is who is right there. That is Edna Brown, who we're going to be researching. Um, that's who we're going to be researching today. Yeah, two more, which is crazy. Oh, technically, it's technically three more because after we finish the 24 people on here, I am going to do a stream where we're going to research Henry Dunn, who was the owner of the photo. I already know that he is the daughter, or sorry, the son of Eleanor Metcalf, whose birthday party is in this photo and who we've already researched. But the main point of that stream uh, is going to try and figure out how this photograph ended up in California. Hey, Sparkly, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening. Um, that's basically the point. That's going to be the point of that stream is to figure out um, who or how this photograph ended up from Pennsylvania to California, and see if I can figure that out. So yeah, and also something else I do want to talk about real quick. I've already mentioned this before that once we after that stream, which will be next Wednesday. So that's right. We only have another week of research streams for this photo. We're going to have one more on Sunday for when we research number 24, Mabel Lewis. And then next Wednesday is going to be the last one where we research Henry Dunn, which feels insane to say. It feels insane to actually say that. And the plan after that is I am going to take like maybe a month or so off from doing these research streams again, just because I don't want to burn myself. I love doing them, but I don't want to burn myself out, and I don't want to, do go too hard, into this, like too far and like just burn myself out. That's something I really want to avoid. Um, but on top of that, something I've also thought about is I'm thinking that maybe after that stream on Wednesday, So that stream after we research the Henry Dunn stream where we research him, I might take a week off from streaming. Give myself again a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather because other than I think just like that one weekend where I had to go to a wedding, I don't think I've like missed like a normal stream schedule date this entire year. So, and we're almost halfway through the year, or we're 5 months in. So, or 4 months in. God. So I think I might take a week off, so that our next stream after uh after Henry Dunn would be on let's see, so that'd be the 6th, then take so that means our next stream would be the 17th. After the so it'll go from the 6th, that Wednesday the 6th of May, take a week off, and then Sunday the 17th would be uh our next stream. Understandable. Yeah, you deserve a break. Thank you guys. I'm glad you guys can are understandable with that because like I said, I do love doing this, but the last thing I want to do is go too hard and too crazy. Also, I kind of want to use that time to like kind of gather myself a little bit and kind of really look through what we discovered and everything and kind of like decide what I want the next steps with this specific project to be kind of off stream because I'm going to keep working on this off stream. This is that's just going to be the end of it in terms of what I do on stream and everything. I have some other ideas of what I want to do. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Trying to think. I think that's it in terms of things I wanted to talk about. So, let's go ahead and let's uh head on over to our classroom. All right. So, here we are. So yeah, so last week, or sorry, not last week, on Sunday, we did research for a girl named Pearl Dietrich. We discovered some pretty cool stuff about her and her sister. Um, but something else that I'm personally really annoyed at myself is that I missed a record on Ancestry when I was so after I finished stream on Sunday. After I finish stream, I always like kind of go through my records, download stuff that I need to, and like do some like fill in like this chart and everything and do all of that. Well, I while I was doing that, I realized there was a record on Ancestry that I missed. And of course, it happens to be a very important and very cool document. So before we get into researching Edna, um, I want to show you guys what that article was that we missed. It's a newspaper article, and it's this. Arthur Bright to lead bride to altar tomorrow at noon. Miss Pearl Dietrich, Arthur Bright. Look at that. That's her. That's Pearl. That's like she'd be in her 20s, I think, which is like crazy because we've had very surprisingly very few photos of these kids when they're older. Like we have been able to find very few photos of them, like pictures of them when they're older. This is like one of maybe like a handful. So that's why I'm so annoyed that we missed this when uh when we when we were researching because this is so cool and we also get to see Arthur. I think we already had a picture of Arthur from when he was older, but yeah, like this is so cool. And I think the reason why we because this is a newspaper and I think the reason why we missed this newspaper is because this is the Harrisburg Telegraph. Harrisburg is in a different part of Pennsylvania and from the area that we're researching. And the reason why we missed it, I think, is because Harrisburg is where Arthur was from. I forgot to kind of take that into account and look where he was from to see if there were any articles, you know. We were only looking at articles from where Pearl was from, for that. So that's why we missed this. Um, but yeah, it's really awesome again to have a photograph of her at an older age, compared to the photo we have, you know, in the 1888 photograph. To access this information on Ancestry, do you need memberships or similar? Yes, you do, unfortunately. And I hate to, it's not cheap. I hate that there it is so much of it is behind a paywall. Um, and I have the highest level membership. I have the highest level membership that gives you access not only to Ancestry, it also gives you full access to the newspaper search database that we use, and it also gives you access to another website called Fold 3, which is specifically for researching like veterans and soldiers. Um, so yeah, so because I have the version that like lumps all of those together and gives you complete access to everything, it's the most expensive. There are like smaller tiers that don't give you access to everything. They just give you access to like you might get like the lowest tier. You probably get access, I think, to like census records, city directories, and maybe like a few other things. Um, So it's and I think like the next tier up is how like they give you the access to make like your family tree and stuff like that and to be able to share things and upload things. You know, it's like there's different amounts. Um, but for me, because you know, because I am doing this so much, um, I am, you know, I decided to, and I do want access to everything. Um, I I decided to pay for like the higher tier. But also something else, Josh, though, I just remembered. Um, before you if anybody is thinking about doing this type of research, first check your local libraries. Check your local libraries because a lot of libraries will on their computers at the library will have these databases for free. They can you just have to use their computers at the library and you can use them for free. Sometimes though, the free version is not the full like that you get at the library is not the full version. I made that discovery while doing this type of research last year. Actually almost exactly a year ago, roughly. Um, so that's um that's something you have to take into account. Um, also there is one other website that I use that's not Ancestry. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. I've used it we've used it a lot because sometimes they have things that for some reason Ancestry doesn't pick up. Um, here, it's this website right here, Family Search. Uh, this website, Family Search. First of all, it is free. You just have to make an account. But it is free. The problem though with Family Search is that it is 100% oh my god, what's the term for it? Like Wikipedia. It's like the like it's where it's like not professionals doing it. It's like regular people are adding to it, are adding to the information. Why am I blanking on the word for it? I keep wanting to say peer reviewed, but that's not right. Crowdsourced. Crowdsourced. I think that's right. It's crowdsourced. Yes. Thank you, Sparkly. Yes, I got it just as you typed that. Um, yeah, it's crowdsourced, and because of that, there are inaccuracies sometimes. I have ran into that when using Family Search before, so you have to just be a little more cautious when using Family Search compared to Ancestry because it is almost entirely crowdsourced. Um, and I have found mistakes before. Um, specifically when I was researching my own family. Um, I noticed some mistakes that I knew weren't after doing a little bit of research on another website, I was able to find out, you know, wasn't right. But yeah, and but Ancestry, if you're willing to pay for it, or if you want to, like I said, go to a local library and see if it's available there. Um, that's what I would recommend. Maybe family or family search to start. And also the thing, like I said, with family search is that it is crowdsourced, so there is a possibility that you might not find anything because nobody else in like your distant family has done this. So yeah, uh, that's what that's what I use and that's what I recommend. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about who we're going to be researching today. Today we are going to be researching Edna Brown. Now we have already researched Edna's sister, Amy Brown, and I already know a few things about Edna because of that. One, I know that Edna never married. I know Edna never married because um, she is listed in some of the same census records as Amy, still living with her parents when she's like in her 40s and 50s or 30s and 40s. Um, so she never married. Um, and also, uh, with Amy and Edna, they were the most difficult people to find from this research because it took me 3 hours on stream, 3 hours to find them because they only lived in Pennsylvania for a very small window, and I couldn't find um I couldn't find anything on them. It took me 3 hours until I found their father. I found the obituary for their father and was able to kind of get that uh, from there. I was able to find out that that was their father, and then I had found them. I have a whole YouTube short actually. If you click my YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, I have a short actually that talks about me trying to find Edna. Oh, also, by the way, thank you guys so much for the support on my newest short that I put out last week or this weekend. It's done pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with it. Um, so yeah, so if you want to check out some of the shorts from some of the other streams that we've done before, um, make sure you can click the YouTube channel linked down below me. Yeah. Oh, and also I want to add real quick, just in case anybody shows up while we're streaming. I want to put something in the chat real quick. Okay. Let's see. All right, so there we go. So now when anybody joins, they know that they can ask questions. Because as it says in my description, question or in my title, questions are welcome. Yeah, it is. This has been a very interesting. I mean, it's been beyond interesting, I would say, this whole process. Um, okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna put in Edna. So Edna, whoops, Edna Brown. Because I know they lived in Connecticut for a little bit, for like the longest period of time that there would be a census record. Because if I put Wyoming County, Pennsylvania, like I had for everybody else, they're not going to come up because they were living there at a time before, like in between censuses and other stuff, so there weren't any records for them. Um, and I'm also going to put in their father and mother because the last name Brown is so common that just putting Edna Brown is going to give us too many people. So we're going to do John Brown and Sophia Brown. John Brown. Hey, Spork, welcome on in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great evening. We're just starting our research here. Sophia Brown. So we're just starting our research into Edna Brown, who's the girl in the photo above me right there. Hey, thank you so much for lurking, Josh. Thanks for sticking around, and hope you have a nice lurk. Looking into John Brown. It's not that John Brown. It's a different John Brown. And shouldn't be surprising. John Brown is a pretty common name, but it's not the famous John Brown. If that's what you're thinking, this is a different. This John Brown was actually a minister or yeah, pastor. All right. So let's see if this is enough information for us to find her. No, that's not her. Oh, hold on. I think this might be her. Let's see. Mother's name Sophia, Ruth. Yes. Okay, yes. This is okay. Okay, so this is yes. Here we go. Yeah, Edna and Amy. Okay, so she is yeah, the younger. This says she was born April 1883, and that means that in the photo above me, she would be 5 years old. Okay. Yeah, they're still yeah, they're still at school. Yeah. He's still a clergyman. Does his body possibly lie smoldering in a grave? Is that a reference to something, Spork, that I don't or are you because I'm not getting it. If it is, sorry. Okay. So there we go. All right, we have confirmed that we have found her, and this would be the first census record she would be in. Oh, it's a Union marching song. Oh, okay. Oh, dang. I'm sorry for butchering your joke or reference. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. Okay, so we got a few things here. So this Edna Brown, first of all, I'm already noticing that we don't have a uh what is it? Find a grave for her. But I do notice we do have these yearbooks, and I want to double check to see if these are. Well, we'll look at those in just a second to confirm that that is the right. Because the problem, like I said before, is that this is such a common name that everything that's listed her here might not actually be her. But let's look real quick. Um, let's look first at this census record from 1905, which is her because she's living in Mount Olive, Pennsylvania, which is where the rest of the family was living at that time. Mount Olive. Uh, where is she? Was she near the top? Are these in? Oh no, wait. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's Amy, and there's Edna. 1982 artist, physical train. Okay, I do remember this one. Yeah, she's still living with her parents, Sophia and John. Okay. It's an insanely niche one anyway. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better that it's niche and that I missed it. Um, okay. So, so yeah, so here she is. Okay, this is saying she was born April 1882. So I think we'll have to look at see if we can find other records that reveal how old she is. But this says she works in physical training. So like PE or like physical like hmm. Okay, so physical training, which is pretty cool actually. Okay, so that's the 1905 census. And her name is Price. So Edna Price Brown. And this one from 1885, that's definitely not her. I'm just gonna double check though, but I'm pretty sure this William Alice. Yeah, no, not her. That's a different family. Um, and I don't think this one is her either because this is 1910. Place, Pennsylvania. Hold on. Oh wait, no, is this her? Hold on. Is it actually a T or is it uh 7th Street? YMCA. She worked for the YMCA. Or she was working at or she was living at the YMCA? Yeah, Edna Brown. That's her. 26. Yeah, that would be about right. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania. Physical physical doctor? WMCA, yeah. Whoa. Okay. So maybe those photos are her. Well, where is this? Indiana? How did she end up in Indiana? She went all the way to Indiana? Because this says T, but I think that is a P actually, now that I look at it. Was she a doctor? Maybe? I don't know how doctor, or like, because it says here, like physical, or is that physical director? DIRECTO. I think it's director, not doctor. Physical director. Yeah, physical trainer of some kind because her previous this census record specifically does say that she works in physical training. And hold on, wait, where is she's in Indiana. Harrison, Indiana. Where is that? Hold on, let's Okay, this is it. It's an unincorporated town. Okay, here we go. So it's okay, so it's in this part. Oh wow, very very western Indiana. Right off the border of Illinois. Harrison, it says, is here. but there's nothing here. It's just a it's right along the river. It is part of the Terra Huete metropolitan area. So I think she probably more likely lived here or worked here, probably in this town. Yeah, it's very middle of nowhere. I'm curious to see if we can figure out how she ended up here to go from New Jersey to this. Yeah, it is possible that Harrison doesn't exist anymore. Because it looks like this was like a yeah, electrical subs. Yeah, this is a power station. Huh. Okay, so hold on. Let's look at some of these other census records here. So that's the 1910 one. Okay, so then when's the next census we have for her? It looks like the next one we have for her is 1920. Okay. Yeah, I think it's power station. Okay, yeah, see, then she moves back. Okay, I do remember seeing this uh in the when we were researching Amy. So Edna, so she moves to Indiana sometime between 1905 and 1910. Then, but sometime between 1910 and 1920, she moves back to New Jersey and lives with her parents again, Amy. And is she working? Okay, now it says that she's a teacher at a high school, which makes me think that those yearbook, now that we know that she was a teacher in a high school, that is making me think that those yearbooks that we saw were actually her. We'll look at those in a second, but that actually is pretty promising. That means that these are likely her. But then after that, we do have a 1930 census. So here, yeah, still living with their parents. And okay, now again, she is a director, physical training. Oop. So she's back into working with, I mean, who knows what kind of teacher yeah, I was just about to say that, Spork. Yeah. That she could have been like a PE teacher or, yeah, physical fitness like teacher. But I think is that the last census record we have for her? Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be the type of career that she's in. Now, okay, that's the last census record that we have for her. We do have this city directory as well as this city directory. Let's look at this city directory real quick. This is one for uh it's not even actually the full directory. Okay, this says okay, 1892. It says she's a student and this is the same place. Wait, yeah, hold on. This is 1892. She would have been she would have been No, this wait. Yeah, this can't be her. because she would be only 14. Yeah, 4 years after the photo. No. Yeah, she'd be 9. She'd be 9 years old. She wouldn't be in a city directory if she was 9 years old. Okay, so now that's starting to put some doubt in my head. Is this Edna Brown the same Edna Brown? Because now we know, okay, there was an Edna Brown who was living in Indiana. Hmm. It does say students, but most of the time when they do refer to students, it's like college students, maybe high school at the most. They don't, and for city directories during this time, they don't put kids in them. From what I've seen in my research doing this, they only like they'll maybe do high school, but like that's like as far back as they'll go, or as far back as they'll go. They don't normally do like elementary kids or anything like that. Also, why if she is 9 years old, why would she be there? Because I know during this time that they were living in uh they were living in Connecticut. So I think this is a different person. I think this is a different woman with the same name as Edna Brown. Because, like I said, very common name. So I'm gonna hold that kind of off to the side for now. And let's look at this city directory real quick. When is this one from? Okay, this is from 1910. However, I just realized something. This Edna P. Brown, it does say she is from Pennsylvania, and it says father's birthplace, Pennsylvania, mother's birthplace, New York. Is that true? Yeah, it is. Okay, so maybe. Okay, so wait. So, shoot, wait. It could also be that because we don't have the actual, because that's the other thing too. We don't have the actual picture of the city directory. We just have this information here. This is maybe making me think that this could be a mistake. Like this year could be a mistake if it is. Because now that I'm looking at it, it does make sense that this is the same person because the age is pretty much right. The place of birth and the parents' place of birth is right. The career makes sense, lines up. Okay. I don't think the city directory Edna is the same person, but I think the census record is. So basically I think this is the same Edna Brown, but it's possible that but I don't think that this is the same Edna Brown. It could be that they put down the wrong year here cuz this is probably just gathered by like a computer or an AI program like reading a page and then just converting the information into just the metadata here that we have here. If we had the actual picture of the page, that would also give me more information because if this was the right Edna Brown, we would also see her siblings and her parents as well because they would be listed all right next to each other because city directories are in alphabetical order by last name. So let's look at this city directory real quick. Yeah, physical director, 1912. Uh, okay, Edna Price, physical director, YWCA. I don't think, yeah, nobody else I think from her family is here. No, Amy. About John. John W. Nope. John H. Nope. Not. Yeah. Yeah. Physical director. They asked me who my role model was in the job interview, and I said not a professor, aka Nap. They said who? I had to tell him to stop playing and disrespecting the name. I said I'm gonna walk out if you don't put some respect on his name. And they apologized and asked me kindly to sit down. Don't get it twisted. Hello, Onion. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening. Listen, man, don't sacrifice a job interview for me. I'm not worth it. I'm just a guy who acts smart on the internet. Okay. So yeah, so there's that city directory. And we know. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's look at these yearbooks. Because that's kind of the next thing we have here. Let's look at these yearbooks. Okay, hold on. Edna Brown, 1913, Indiana State Normal School. Assistant librarian, 98. Like 1898? Hmm. Hold on. Okay. What about these other ones? Okay, 1919. Okay, yeah, there she is again. This is 1919. She would be 35? Okay, hold on. What is this final one here? I don't know about you, but I feel like she looks older than 35 in this photo. I know people look older back then, but that's a and hold on, wait, when was that city directory from again? Okay, 1910. They do all look like the same person, but I'm just not 100% I hmm. It's I don't know. I think we're gonna have to look at newspapers to like 100% confirm that this is the right person, or we'll have to find an obituary. Life of an assistant librarian ain't for the weak. Hey, I know a lot of librarians, so it's not as easy as people think it is. Uh, yeah, because she does look old. Because like this photo, so this is 1913. She would be 30, roughly. She would be roughly 30 in this photo, which I mean, she take away the glasses, I think she looks about that age here. And then 1916, I think she still does look like, in her 30s roughly. And then I don't know, something happened. Maybe I don't know if it's just the quality of the photo and like the lighting, but like She looks older. Hey, Sour Fox, thank you so much. Welcome to the class. Thank you for following. Welcome on in. Yeah, it could just be a bad photo and lighting. Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes with these ones, especially because this is also a scan of like and copying photos back then, the quality goes down a decent amount. Hi, very interesting topic. Thank you, Sour Fox. Yes, we are. So, just to give you some background, real quick, on what we're doing. Um, Hold on. Okay, just a really quick overview of what we're doing. Uh, I am okay. Hold on. Get ready for a Victorian child jump scare. Uh, Boom. There they are. So this is a photo that I bought in an antique store. It has 24 people in it, and we are trying to find all of them in the historic record. We're trying to research and find all of them. And we're doing that because on the back of the photo, which is the back, this is the back of it here, it lists the full names of all the people in the photo. And we are currently researching number 23. We have researched 22 other people so far over the past 3 months to get here. And the girl we're researching today, her name is Edna Brown. The other photos look like they were done with much less preparation than all the other photos of her. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, 'cause, well, I mean, this one looks like this is just her on the job. That's just her in the library. They probably had like a photographer going around the school. Whereas these are like professional like portraits. These are like professional portraits. If it had, that's the thing though. If this had her middle initial, if it had her middle initial, if it said Edna P. Brown, I would feel 100% way more confident and be like, oh, yes, that's her. But actually, hold on. Let's see, because I think that's everything really here that I want to look at right now. The rest of this is like city directory or newspaper articles, which we'll get to in just a second, because that's the next step. Um, I want to see, can we find other city directories of her in Indiana? Now that we know that, okay, hold on, yeah, let me add, we do have a little bit more information. She was roughly born in 1883 in Pennsylvania. We know that much. Um, and then hold on, wait, I'm gonna change this to Indiana. Indiana, roughly 1910 to plus or minus 5 years. All right, let's see. Which platforms, website do you use for your research? So I use mostly I use Ancestry, which is what we're using right now, to do kind of just like the basic stuff. I also use another website called Family Search sometimes, which is still pretty good, but and it's free compared to Ancestry. Ancestry, you do have to pay a subscription. But Family Search, um, it does the problem with that one is that it is crowdsourced, and so not all the information is 100% accurate compared to something like Ancestry. We also, for researching newspapers, we use newspapers.com, which is also under the same umbrella as Ancestry, to search things in old newspapers, um, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, so those are the main websites. We also use the website Find a Grave, which I'll show in a little bit. when we try to find her grave, and we eventually find an obituary. Um, let's see. Let's go to directories. Uh, location North America. Um, USA, Indiana. Okay, Vigo. That's the county that we. Okay, so yeah, we got a few things here. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted. If you can find a grave or obituary, then that would be very helpful. That would have a middle name. Yes. But I think we found this is exactly what I wanted here. Okay. Um, so something that I just noticed here, these two city directories specifically say Edna P. Brown, Edna Price Brown. Which one was this one? Yeah, this was from 1910. Okay. So let's go back here real quick. Let's look at this one from 1907. This is the oldest one that we have. Okay, this is from 1907. Yeah, Edna P. Brown, physical director, YWCA. Did any of your ancestors fight in wars? Yes, I do know. I do have a confirmed, unfortunately, unfortunately, I do have an ancestor who did fight in the Civil War, but not for the North. So I do have that ancestry. Um, unfortunately. um, but that's the only one I 100% know for sure. I think there's a Revolutionary War veteran in there. I just can't think of him off the top of my head. Okay. Yeah, so this Edna Brown is her. This one is 100% her. And the fact that she's the only Edna Brown living here during this time makes me feel pretty confident that this is her. The only thing is, what I'm trying to figure out right now basically is if this Edna Brown, the physical director at the YWCA, is the same Edna Brown that was also here. So okay, so if we go to 1908 directory, is she still physical director? Ah, okay. Price, physical director, 810 Walnut. Okay. Oh, okay. So we are currently in ads, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a break from doing this research. Um, so let's go back here. I won't click on anything else until we're back from ads so that people in ads won't miss anything. Um, I had one of mine on the RMS Lusitania. Read a letter he wrote about it years ago. That's really cool. And I'm guessing because you had the letter that he survived, but that's insane. That's really cool that you have an ancestor with it, and that they wrote. That's also great is that they wrote down their story. That's also really awesome and super important that they did that. Okay, so while we are in ads, I am actually just really quick gonna step away and use the bathroom real quick because I chugged a lemonade while I was snarfing down my dinner really quickly so I could make it to stream on time. So I'm gonna be right back, and uh, we'll continue our research then. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. All right. And we're done with ads. Perfect. All right. So he was recovering in Toronto and wrote it to his wife. Oh, that's again really cool that you have that. That's a really awesome family story. And I hope you made digital copies of that letter or did something or transcribed it or did something. Made some sort of copies of it so that way you can ensure that it lasts longer. Oh no. That's not a good sign, Spork. Okay, uh so we know that this Edna Brown is the same Edna Brown. What about this one from 1912? Where is she? Aha. Okay. I only had it when I was 9. I had no idea where it went. My grandmother may have it, but I have zero idea where it went. Oh man. Well, hey, maybe do some digging. Ask around the family, and maybe you'll find it. And then if you do find it, make a copy of it. Okay, so let's see. Hold on. Okay, 121 7th Street. So she's constantly moving and living in different places. So this is the first one we have of the assistant librarian. Assistant librarian 3. So, but they lost the P, but there's still that she's still the only Edna Brown here. Because then if we go to the 1930 or 1915 one, 620 Chestnut, librarian. Yeah, oh, wait. Did they put it in twice? Okay, yeah, it's the same part. I got scared for a moment because there were like two Edna Browns right here, and I was just like, oh no. But it's the same person. I guess they just worked at two different libraries. 620 Chestnut, 810 Walnut, North 6, 615 Ohio. Okay. Been trying to, ended up instead finding an old brooch with a man, I had no idea who it was on it. Turns out it was one of my great grandmother's boyfriends who died on D Day. So at least I got a good story about. Wow, that is really cool. That's another great man. Your family has some crazy stories relating to two different world wars. Um. Okay. This unfortunately still isn't enough information to go off of to really figure out if this is the right person. Okay, this. What I will. Hold on. Hold on. Look at all these census records right here. Uh. Hold on. This is Edna V. Brown, Indiana, home. This is in Clay, Indiana. Hold on, wait. What's it? Okay, that's 1912. What about 19? Is there a 1920 census here? Uh, is there not a 1920 census? Come on, that's like the one that I need. Hold on, wait. If you go back, Okay, no, there's this one. Hold on. Wait a second. Uh, is this right? I feel like this is like some weird glitch going on here. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, so there is a Okay, so this is an Edna Brown, but this is a different Edna Brown because this Edna Brown is her married name, not her maiden name. So there was another Edna Brown who did end up living in this same town, but it's not our Edna Brown because, like I said here, Brown is her married name, not her maiden name. Born in Ohio, and this one, and she doesn't have a job. So this can't be the same person because if she did work before she was married, if she did work before she was married, she would have been, she wouldn't be Edna Brown here. She'd be Edna and then her married or her maiden name. So this Edna V Brown is not who we're looking for. Uh, wait. No, 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 no. Hold on. Hold on. I don't think this is the same Edna Brown. Because look, 1924, it says she's still an assistant librarian at this school, but we know that in 1920 she was back in New Jersey. And in 1930 she was still in New Jersey doing physical training and stuff. So okay, no. I think this 100% proves it. This 100% proves it that this librarian Edna Brown, this librarian Edna Brown is not the same Edna Brown that we're looking for. This Edna Brown is not the same Edna Brown because she would not still be working there in 1924 if she went back to New Jersey. So okay, so this is my as of right now, this is my theory. My theory is that our Edna did actually move to this town in Indiana and was that's why specifically they say Edna P. Brown, Edna Price Brown, which we know again is her. That is her middle name. Yeah, that is her. So I do think that she did move here for some reason, for whatever reason. She did move here. So yeah, so these yearbook Edna Browns are not who we're looking for. That also means the city directories that are the assistant librarian are also not her. Which I think makes sense because to go from physical training to librarian doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of career path, but you know what? Sometimes you never know. I swear there's so much loss to family history simply by the fact that ordinary people aren't aristocrats trying to preserve every single thing that proves they're descended from someone. Yeah, no, that is a big part of it. That's why some of the best genealogies are people trying to, prove that they are from royalty or that they have claim to something. Which is also why I am very adamant that if you have family photographs, and you want to preserve the history behind those photographs, write full names on the back of the photograph. Write full name. Don't just write Uncle John, or Grandpa, like, because that doesn't tell anybody that has. We don't know, like, that doesn't tell your great grandkids who that is. So that's why I always recommend putting full names on the back of photographs. I wonder what my great uncle was doing in the 1500s, probably selling cucumbers. Hottest new vegetable from America at the market. Shout out to Uncle. Yeah, who knows? Okay, hold on. Let me real quick. So let's clear all these. Uh, okay, hold on. We do have this Edna Price Brown. Okay, yeah, these are all the siblings. You know about Amy, but this one says death unknown. This one says death unknown, which is interesting. We already have all these census records. When, hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. Hold on. I need to look at, oh, nope, didn't mean to click on that. I need to look at my old files real quick. I want to look up something from Amy's files because I want to find out, because when did their father die? Oh, wait, no, their father died. Okay, 1930. Okay, that doesn't really help us. So uh, we know their father died in 1930. And we know she was still alive in 1930 because we have the census for her, and we know that, and Edna is listed on her father's obituary as well for being alive. Um, okay. Man, this is oof, this is interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's go back here. Like I said, I want to look at the census records. Yeah, I want to look at the 1920 census specifically for Indiana. Oh, there isn't one for Indiana. Hold on, wait. Let me edit. Let me get rid of this and get rid of all these things because I just want to see what other Edna Browns were living in this area. Uh, okay, Indiana, and we want. Okay, we don't have one for. Wait, hold on. Let me get rid of the 1920 specific thing. Okay, we want Vigo. That's what we want. Okay. Oh, oh, look at this. Look at this. This is 1910. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Edna. Okay, there was another Edna Brown, but she wasn't working. Hmm. Hey, Warthorn, good to see you. Welcome on in. Want another challenge? I got a World War II helmet signed by all the guys in the unit. Ooh, that actually is really cool. The problem is though, can you read all the signatures? Can you read all the signatures? Because that's going to be the biggest issue. Okay, you can. That actually would be a really cool one. Um, but I actually do. I will admit, I do actually have an idea. Like I said, I am going to take a break after this. After we finish this project, I am going to take a little break from doing research streams. But Um, I do have an idea, or I already have an idea. Um, for the next what the next project is going to be. And also have the city of origin. Plenty easy for. I mean, honestly, it would probably would be a lot easier than because it's a lot more recent and you have way more background information. um, okay, hold on. Let's look at this Edna Brown real quick. Mm. No, okay, that's not the right Edna Brown that we're looking for. Uh, that is weird that there's none. Hold on, wait. What if I get rid of that in this? I just literally just do Edna Brown search. Uh, okay, we do have more now. Is this the last day for the? No, this is not. We have one more week. So next Wednesday will be the last stream for this project. Next Wednesday will be the last stream for this project. And then I'm gonna probably take. I'm gonna take a week off of streaming as like a little bit of a break. And then we're gonna do probably about like a month of just other like miscellaneous stream ideas and things that I want to do. Um, that are fun. And then we'll get back into another research project. That's the plan as of right now. Let's see. Oh, Kahoot. That's actually not a bad idea. Um, hold on, wait. Do we have? Wait, hold on, wait. What about this one? 1930. Is she a librarian? No, she's married. Uh, okay, hold on. What about this one? No, also married. Let's see. Aha. Okay, here we go. This is her. Age 42, about born about 1878, so about 5 years older. Hey, Warthrone, thank you so much for the watch streak. Thanks for being here. Um, okay, so this is her. This is the other Edna. Finally. Yeah, living by herself, single. Uh, yeah, librarian. Yes, this is her. Okay. This is the 1920. Yes. Okay, so again, this 100% confirms that the librarian Edna is not the Edna that we're looking for. Because this 1920 census is the same as this one when our Edna is back. All right. Whew. All right. Glad that we figured that out. So I think that means we've done everything with the ancestry that we can do with Edna. Let's see. All right. Hey, thank you for the lurk, Warthorn. Thanks for sticking around and have a good lurk. Okay, so I think let's move on to newspapers, probably. Because I do want to see um because we do have some newspapers here, but that's an Indiana one. Got New Jersey, Connecticut newspapers. Okay. Um so we know she was born roughly 1883, roughly, I think. So let's just do 1880 to 1900 because I forget exactly when they were living in uh yeah, I forget exactly when they were living in Tacanic. Hey Dale, good to see you. How you doing? Hope you're having a great evening. It's going well. We just, had a little bit of a side tangent because we thought we found a picture of like a later in life picture of the girl above me here who we're researching, a girl named Edna Brown. But it turned out to not be her. It turned out to be a different Edna Brown because unsurprisingly, Edna Brown is a very common name. Okay, let's see. If there's anything. Whoa, nothing. Because I forget. Hold on. Was there something for Amy during this time? Yeah. Okay. So Amy was here. Yeah. 1892, 1890, 1889. So Amy has a bunch of records that talk about her, but nothing for Edna. Okay. What if we change to Edna P? Nothing. Okay. What about EP? No. Okay. That's Reverend EP Brown. That's not her. Ooh, nice. On a walk. Awesome. Hope you're enjoying your walk. I wanted to go on a walk while I was working today, but unfortunately the weather was crappy. Wasn't good walking weather. Hopefully, I think I should be. Yeah, it's supposed to be nicer weather tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to do that tomorrow. Okay. Uh, yeah, I think I'll be able to tomorrow. Thank you. Hold on. So if we do this, and what if we change it to just Pennsylvania? It's probably gonna be a lot. Oh, hold on. Hold on, sale. Scranton. Okay, these Scranton ones might actually be Or wait, no, they're not, because 1898, she's not. They don't live there. By this point, I think they've moved to. Yeah, I think. Oh wait, hold on. I need to sort these. So they're oldest first. Also, she would be. How old would she be in German? The Baptist Junior Endeavor. Hmm. I I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this is him or her. Sorry. I don't think it is, because I don't think they were living in Scranton during this time. Well, we know by 1900 they're in Connecticut. Oh, let me look again at Amy's files real quick. Uh, yeah, by this time they're in Connecticut. So hold on, let me. Yeah, so this isn't her. Edna Price? Nothing. Okay, let's try New Haven. Okay, nothing for Edna Price. What about Amy Brown or Edna P. Brown? Nothing. Really? Okay, hold on. Do I just add an? Oh God. uh, hmm. 1892. Okay, no, yeah, no. All these ones from 1892 are not. I think it's 189. 18. It'd be 1890. I mean, I didn't really get rid of that many. Uh, okay, yeah. 1892. They're still there. They're still in Tacanic. So let's change it to 1893. Uh, Again, it's hard to say whether or not this Edna Brown is the right Edna Brown, because it's very possible that This is not the right Edna Brown because it's a very common name. Okay, what if I change it specifically, not just New Haven County, but just New Haven? Because New Haven's a big enough town that. Okay, here we go. This is better. This is more digestible. Uh, okay, let's look at some of these real quick and see if there's any hints that can prove that this is the right Edna Brown. See, Reynolds, Cambridge, Port, Massachusetts. Again, no, nothing there. If we find something that's like Reverend John H. Brown and his daughter Edna Brown are among the graduates of the state normal school in New Britain yesterday. That can't be her because she'd be 10. She'd be like 11. So yeah, okay, yeah, no. So all these ones that are like her, like talking about like her like graduating and likely doing all this stuff are not her because she would be too young. Salvation Army of Meriden. Okay, no, that's not it. It's not until you get to like the late 1890s that it would be more likely to be her. Come on. Um, okay, that's just them being uh school Miss Edna Brown and Miss. Okay, this is a teacher. Again, no, that can't be her because she's 11. Yeah, so there is another Edna Brown who is apparently living in the area. And again, yeah, these ones that are like, yeah, like a teacher will teach it. That can't be, again, that can't be her because she's like 12. uh, yeah, we'll teach her class. Okay, no, that's not her. 1892, Edna L. Okay, yeah, no. Edna, okay, there's an Edna L. Brown, which I think is who this Edna Brown is, the one who's like going, doing all this stuff and meeting all these people. Yeah, that's a teacher. Uh, Edna Brown's secretary. Yeah, when there's another person with the same name living in the same town, it becomes unless they have the middle initial, it's pretty hard to like say with 100% certainty that oh yes, this is the right person. There was a wedding. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I know this isn't about her, but I just think this is really funny. The contracting parties were Robert H. Andrews, son of Andrew Andrews. Man, that sucks. His parents that named their kid Andrew Andrews. Oh wow, that's like Mario in the Super Mario Brothers movie. That's wow. Poor him. Some Miss Blunt Andrews. Okay, I know. I don't. Again, not enough evidence to prove that this is the right one. Okay, no, it's not that one. And just to like double check, like Amy has some, yeah, Amy does have some records here. This is one of them that we found before. Yeah, Boardman School, 84 applicants. Amy R. Brown. We know that that's her because of the middle initial. So let's try Edna P. Brown again, maybe. Let's just make it Connecticut. Whoa, nothing. Okay, let's change the years because we know that they were there till like at least 1905. Let's try 1905. Nothing. Edna Brown. Okay, yeah, again, getting rid of this Meriden one. They were in New Haven, right? This one, like, now I feel like I'm misremembering that they were in New Haven. No, yeah, they're in New Haven. So New Haven, yeah, they are in New Haven County. It's like an actual New Haven itself. Um, Maypole dancers, Wallingford. Uh, hmm. Syracuse and Buffalo. C.H. Brown will leave. Okay, I know that's. Wait, I don't think that's her because what sisters does she have? Yeah, Adeline and yeah, that's not. Again, not her. This is crazy. I don't think we've researched anybody where they've had like no newspapers like this, where we can't confirm that we found them in at least one newspaper article. Compared to like, especially compared to her sister. The fact that her sister is in so many articles and she isn't is really interesting. Because these ones that say Miss Edna Brown of this city, maybe that could be her, but because we know there are other Edna Browns in this area, there's no way to confirm which one is which with these records. So we can't really use them at the moment. Yeah, see, Edna May. Yeah, so, okay. There's another one. There's an Edna L. Brown, and there's an Edna May Brown. Oh, Salem, Massachusetts. Okay, no, that's just a random visiting person. Uh, again, Wallingford. Where's Wallingford compared to New Haven? Okay, yeah, that's not like actually in New Haven, and we know they were like in they were in New Haven proper. And yeah, we know by June of 1905 they are in New Jersey. And whoever these other Edna Browns are, they went to a lot of weddings and were bridesmaids. Yeah, Miss Edna L. Brown, uh, the New Paltz State Normal School. Yeah, it's so wait, in the 1900 census, she's yeah, okay, yeah. By the 19 oh, this is 1905. By the 1900 census, she is yeah, 17. So she should have already graduated by now. Uh, yeah, we uh yeah, nothing there. And the L Brown and the L Brown. Yeah, that's another teaching thing. Teacher. What about this one? No, it's not her. Oh, oh, oh! Found her! Found her! Oh my God! Finally, that's her. Oh, Edna Price Brown. That is her. 100%. Whew! Finally, we found something that confirmed that it was her. Okay, hold on. What is this a list of? Okay, this is a. Oh, okay, this is like a class thing. Okay, wait, hold on. Commencement. Graduation of Hill House and Boardman high schools. Boardman, is that where? Yeah, Boardman is where Amy went too. Okay, yeah, so this is her. Boardman School. She was a yeah. Yeah, academic course at Boardman School. There she is, right there. Edna Price Brown. Oh, okay. At least that's something. So we do know that she did go to the same school as her sister and graduated in 1904 apparently. It was a little later, I feel like, than you would think, but and because again, and I think again, because this article specifically says Edna Price Brown, these other Edna Browns I don't think are her because they would say if it was her, if they said if it was Edna Price. And then yeah, and this one can't be her because this is July. Yeah, there's too many Edna Browns, unfortunately. Okay, so hold on. If I change it to Edna Price Brown, well, I think just get that one article. But if I get rid of the New Haven County, are there more? No, that's the only one. That's the only one. Wow. Okay, she is turning out to be very hard to find information on. Very difficult indeed. Okay, well now let's change it to New Jersey, and we'll change it to 1905 to 1910. Because at some point in between there is when she moves. Okay, what about Edna P? Okay, okay. I think this is them. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait. What are these hotel arrivals? Lake Avenue Hotel. Oh, okay. So she was staying at a hotel. Yeah, New Haven, Connecticut. Okay, so that's her. So this is her moving. It looks like she moved on her own, maybe separately from her rest of her family, but this is around that same time. And then this one from 1909. Okay, yes, I do remember this. Okay. Officials named for annual baby parade. I do remember this article because Amy is also in it. You can see her right here, Amy R. Brown and Miss Edna P. Brown. This was a yeah, like a thing where they were making costumes for babies to do a baby parade. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Is this the same one? I think this is the same thing. Yeah, this is the same thing. Same baby parade that we already saw when we researched Amy. Same with this one. I think these are, or those ones are all that. What about this one from September? Yeah, same thing. Bud Lake, New Jersey. Okay. So we know by September of 1909 she is still in New Jersey. She has not left, and I'm afraid that if we just do Edna Brown here, yeah, there's going to be hundreds. um uh what county is Morris? Do we have any Morris County ones here? Let's see. No, nothing here from Morris. Were they living in 1920? Essex County. Maybe we'll try Essex County. Let's see. Okay, wait, hold on. What is this one? Okay, no, this is the same thing again. Hey, Wonju, good to see you. Welcome on in. Did it say baby costumes and burlesque? I mean, they had. I do remember when reading this article that there were a lot of different costumes, like a bunch of different categories. Uh, Dancing in Buffalo. Okay, no, that's not her. Um, Mabel Edna Brown. Nope, that's not her. No, this isn't her either. Whew, man, we are not having good luck with this one. This is some of like the least amount of like things we found for a person. I think out of anybody, considering a lot of it is like repeat stuff, and especially considering a lot of it is repeat stuff that we've already found when we researched her sister. This is probably the least new information we've had about a person. Wow. Been listening for a while, but can you please do a short update on what we know so far on her? Yes, I can, Wonju. Okay, so the girl we are researching, her name is Edna Brown. She is the sister of younger sister of Amy Brown, who we've already researched in this photo. She's the younger sister of Amy Brown. We know that she was roughly born around 1883, 1882, somewhere around there. Um, we know that she grows up and she becomes a physical trainer. Um, or was it? There it is. So we see her right here, Edna Brown, living with her parents. We know that she never marries. She's involved in physical training. At one point, she moves to Indiana for like a few years and works at the YWCA there as their physical director. 1920 census. By 1920, she's back in New Jersey. And is also doing this says she's a teacher in a high school in 1920. And then by 1930, it says that she is an instructor or a director for physical training. And as of right now, we have no idea when she died. We have no idea when she died. We don't have a grave. We don't have anything. And we're trying to find newspaper articles for her, but there's been almost nothing. Okay, so let's change this now. What's that county again? Where she was living in 1910? Vigo County. Okay, Vigo County, Indiana. Okay, nothing from during this time. Edna Price? Nothing. Edna P. Brown. Uh, YWCA? YMCA? We don't unfortunately know the specific name of the last place she worked. No, we just know that she was involved in some way as like a physical trainer. Okay, so let's try Edna P. Brown. And let's change it again from 19. Oh no, but we might get the other Edna Brown that we know lives in this county. 1911 to 1920. Nothing. Price? Nothing. Just regular Edna Brown? Okay, hold on. Let's do Edna Price Brown. Let's just make it just straight up Indiana. Nothing. Edna P. Brown? Nothing. Dang, Indiana, why don't you have any newspapers? Okay, there we go. But this is so broad now. Edna Brown is such a God, yeah. There's actually wait, hold on. Let me change it back again to 1905 to 1910. Oh boy. Oh God, why are you doing that? Whew. Oh God, it's glitching out. Hold on. Let's reload that. Hold on. Let me look up a map of Indiana counties. See what other like nearby counties are. Uh, Here we go. Okay, so Vigo is right here. So Vermilion, Park, Clay, and Sullivan are like the surrounding counties. So I think those are ones that are more likely to possibly have records for her. So okay, so Vermilion, Park, Clay, and Sullivan. Okay. So let's okay, hold on. None of those. None of those. Okay, Clay. There's some Clay. We'll look at that in just a second. I just want to see if there are any other ones here. Uh no. Jefferson, Huntington, no. Lawrence Du Bois, no. Okay, so it looks like the only one here is Clay. That might be our Edna Brown. In Brazil, India. Okay, let's see. Miss Edna Brown and J.C. Brown went to. Okay, no, I don't think that's not our Amy Brown. Edna Brown of Clay City. No, it's not her because she wasn't living in Clay City. What about this one? Entertained. Yeah, no, this is also like specifically Clay City. Uh, Gertrude and Edna Brown. No, that's not her. The YCG girls were entertained Monday night at the home of Miss. Yeah, no, yeah, Clay Cities. Okay. Um, let's go back to doing 1911 to 1920. And let's, yeah, again, look at these counties here. Okay, there are some Clay. No, none of those. None of those. None of those. Okay. So Clay County again was the only one that had something. All these are from Brazil. All of these are from Brazil, which again, hold on, hold on, hold on. What is this one? Okay, no, dang it. Okay, because I saw this Terra Hoita, I think is how you say that. Hauta? I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably butchering that, but we do know that is where our Edna Brown was living. But this isn't. This person was just going to there to visit. That's not the same. Um, no. Yeah, Mrs. Edna Brown. Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely not her. Yeah, okay, she was just of Clay City was on her way. Yeah, we know that she wasn't living in Clay City because that'd be too far away. Um, Dang. Okay, yeah. So, unfortunately, we have no no newspapers from her time in Indiana. Okay, so then if we don't have that, let's go back to New Jersey. Yeah, okay, hold on. We're gonna have to narrow this down, specifically with Edna P. Okay, here we go. Essex County. Okay, that is where they were living. We know that they were living in Essex County by 1920. Okay. Uh, let's see what these are. Oh, okay. Yes, this is her. High school teachers named. Look at this. Edna P. Brown as teacher of physical training in the Beringer High, a salary of second year, 1,300 permanent grade. Okay. She was okay, this is perfect. Yes, we got a lead now, which is great. Okay, so now we know Bering Beringer High, Beringer High School, and she was teaching physical training. So PE basically. She was a PE teacher. And this says specifically salary of second year. So this is her second year of teaching there. So we now know that sometime between 1910 and 1914 is when she left Indiana. Because in 1910 census, she's in Indiana. And then this newspaper is from 1915, but she was also working there the year before. So sometime between 1910 and 1915 is when she came back to New Jersey. Okay, that and then a year later we have this other one. High schools have lead in Fete pageant, Feta, Feta pageant. Pupils will form first four divisions according to 100 committee program. Detailed reports of the schools of Newark are rapidly preparing for the Great School Children's Parade that will be one of the outstanding features of the 250th anniversary celebration. Will be received by the Parades and Decorations Committee of the Committee of 100 tomorrow. Randall D. Warren, Director of Physical Training, who is in charge of the arrangements for the parade of the school children, today forwarded instructions to the principals of the four high schools. The high school pupils will form the first four divisions in the parade, in which more than 8,000 children will participate. The other sections will include the elementary school pupils. Okay. So yeah, so she was helping with put on this parade. She was still a teacher there. Yeah, Edna P. Brown. And this is in Essex County because this is in New Jersey. In that part, or Newark, New Jersey, which is where Essex County is. Um, and we know she's still there. Yeah, we know that she's still there by 1930. Edna P. Brown. Let's try Edna Price. Okay, nothing. Let's do Edna Brown, but this time make it specifically Essex County. There we go. Okay. Name of the graduating class. Okay, no, that's not. That's not her. She's already graduated at this point. Uh, okay, Mrs. Edna Mae Brown. That's not her. Uh, departmental. What is this? Okay, no, I don't think that's her. Um, yeah, this is a different Edna Brown who's in school, so that's not her. Edna N Brown. What about this one? First Canadian Memorial Gold Medal. Junior. Is this more about that school? Yeah, no, this is not her. She wasn't in school at this point. Takes New York Bride. Miss Glades Brown, daughter of Mrs. Edward. Okay, no, that's not. That's not them. That's a different family. Uh, Edna F. Brown. Uh, Collegiate Honors. No, that's not her. Okay, this is I think the one we already saw. Yeah, we already saw that one. Edna K. Okay, we already saw that one. Okay. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Let's stay in Essex County because again, that's kind of the easiest thing that we can do right now. Um, and the P Brown. Let's change it again because we know between 1921 and 1930, we know that that's where she's living. Ah, dang, nothing. Bryce, just Edna Brown, and a J Brown, and an Elizabeth Brown, and an E Brown. Wow, nothing. Two new teachers. Yeah, no, that's not her. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Uh, well, we would change to Edna P. Brown, but we just make it all of New Jersey. Wow, nothing. Nothing. And we just do Edna Brown. Yeah, 990. Yeah, that's way too many. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. We have a few newspapers listed here. I want to see which ones these are and if they're the right ones because we're having so much difficulty. Is this the one that we already? Okay, yeah, this is the one we already saw. So we've already looked at this one. We've already found this one. Uh, I don't. I don't think this is her. Yeah, that's Mrs. Price Brown. That's not her. Uh, About this one, 1917, Price Brown. Yeah, no, that's not at all who we're looking for. Hmm. There's this one that is apparently an obituary, but this is for their father. Yeah, okay, this is their father's obituary. We already have this, and we already know this. So we know that she's still alive by 19 by April of 1930. When does their mother pass away? 1930. But when in 1930? Okay, November of 1930. Maybe if we could find an obituary for her. Um. Okay, hold on. So let's change it. Let's change it to 1930. Um. Sophia Brown. Let's change it to specifically November. Uh. Oops. Hold on. Is there anything here that says anything about a newspaper? Oh wait, hold on. Or is this just her husband's obituary again? Yeah, this is just her husband's obituary again. Hmm. This is so crazy. Having this little information. Uh. Okay, I'm just gonna put Edna Price Brown. Just 19 1930 to, let's just say 1980, in case she ends up living to be like 90 something. Search, and then let's just get rid of New Jersey. Let's just have it be anywhere. Okay, 15 masters. Ohio, California, Florida, Virginia, Mississippi. I mean, none of those places are places that she has lived. In the square price, no. Nothing here seems to be. Yeah, no, nothing here matches. Wow, okay. And I feel like if we just do Edna P. Brown, that's gonna be way too, way too vague. Yeah. Um, New Jersey? Uh, that's talking about a married Edna P. Brown, which we know. Yeah, which we know is not right. Hold on, wait. Did I find an obituary for Amy? Uh, Hold on. Because wait, when did Amy die? Amy died 1964. Wait, yeah, I did find an obituary for her, right? Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. Uh, oh, oh. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me look up. Let me pull up the. I have the file here, but I can't show it to you guys through this. So let me look up. So hold on. Amy R. Brown, yeah, Amy R. Brown, 1964, uh, Pennsylvania. Here you go. This is it. So, so this is her sister Amy's obituary. This is in 1964. This is in 1964. Yeah, died January 7th in New York City. She was buried in the family plot of the Presbyterian Church of Shawnee. She has been suffering from heart trouble for 2.5 years. And then down here in the bottom here, this is what it says. Survivors include her older sister, Mercy Whitfield of Hackettstown, New Jersey. Also surviving are her sister's descendants, Adeline Ackerman and her brother, Arthur of River Forest, Illinois. Her sister, the late Miss Edna Brown, is buried with her parents in the family plot. Okay, so Edna died first. Edna died at a younger age in 19 before 1960 between 1930 and 1964. But if I remember correctly, when I researched uh when I researched Amy, the cemetery that I found the cemetery that they are buried in, but that cemetery has not been documented on Find a Grave, which is why it doesn't come up. Hold on. Yeah. So that they're buried at the Presbyterian Church in Shawnee, which is uh hold on. Yeah, Shawnee on the Delaware, and then yeah, Shawnee Presbyterian Church. So this is where they are buried. And this church has this. There's this cemetery right here. If we go on Google Street View, we can see it. Yes, there's this cemetery here. So this is the cemetery, and this cemetery has not been cataloged on Find a Grave, which is why we don't have their graves. So I bet if I went here and found their graves, I could probably find Edna's death date. Because if she's buried, I would hope that if she is buried there, her headstone is still there. Hold on, do they have? This is just I think about the. Maybe I could email them actually. Actually, yeah. What if I emailed them and asked them like, "Hey, I'm doing research of someone that I believe is buried in your churchyard. Is it possible you can send me information on them?" I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I am going to I think I'll email them and ask them. Alright, I think that's the next step with that. Okay. Wow, this has been a hmm. I think this might I think it would've been okay if I started later today because I think there's not really much else now that we've kinda hit a wall. Or no, okay, no, there is one more thing we can research. I just remembered, there is one more thing we can research real quick. I wanna see if this okay, Beringer High. I wanna see if that still exists and if they have possibly any records. So let me Google that real quick. Beringer High. Okay, it does still exist. Wow, it was founded in 1838. Okay. Let me see. Do they have yearbooks? Uh, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Uh, we have a few things here. We have Newark yearbooks. So this is for all of Newark, New Jersey. Pivot annual. Okay. What year was that? It was 1920 something or no, 1915, 1916. Uh, okay, hold on. Oh, okay. Uh, oh no, is the first one they have from 1921? Wait, no, she would probably still be there because in the 1920 census, yeah, she's still a teacher. Okay, so hopefully, if she stayed there in 1921, she might be in it. Yeah, because these go all the way to 2019. Okay, let's hope that she's still there for this year. Okay. Uh, let's see. Okay, staff. Hold on. Individual character. Ruth, no. Jess, Marjorie, no. Oh no, this is the staff for the for the yearbook. Okay. Whoops, never mind. I thought this was staff for like the school. Let's see, school news. Science club, Spanish club. Uh Girls League? President. Uh oh, this is for music. I was hoping that league meant like school like girl sports. Class officers, Hall of Fame. Oh dang, somebody cut cut that person out. Okay, these are all the students. Class lineup. Uh, Statistics, sports. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, these are class prophecy. Are these ads? Yeah, these are all ads. I think. Ah, dang it. They don't have anything for the staff. Okay. Dang. That was a. Uh, Normally they have like. Okay, I guess they just have in terms of staff. They just have. Yeah, these are just like the first, like the heads of the school, and that's it. That's all that they have. Okay, hold on. I mean, the next one they have is 1924. She could still be there. Let's see. Scroll board. Uh, yeah, these are students, 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 students. Uh, history, music. Um, Looking forward. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of ads. This feels like a lot of ads. Okay, hold on. Let's look at the next one. Uh, yeah, again, it's class. Just the class. Logbook. Oh wait, faculty popularity contest. Uh, faculty sings. Uh, I, okay. I actually like this. Look at this. I like things like best looking, most popular, tallest, shortest, blah blah blah, and then easiest test. No, no one. No one. I actually really like that. That's really funny. Um. Okay, yeah. So if she was there, she wasn't any of those. Yeah, more. Yeah, this is basically the same as the last one. Okay. Um. Check the 1925 one. Okay. Yep. Put the class again. It's history, prophecy, last song, popularity contest. Oh, there's some terrifying pictures. uh. Uh. Yeah, I guess they didn't list all the faculty. Darn. Um. Hmm. Okay. I think we'll look at maybe like one more. Because honestly, she could. No. She could be still teaching, but the problem is that like the we don't know when she stopped being potentially a teacher at this school. Oh wait, can I hold on? Oh, whoops. Nope, that is not what I meant to do. I meant to, hold on. I that was the wrong search. This is the search that I want. uh okay, yeah, nothing. Um uh let's just look in all let's just do a quick search. Uh okay, yeah, no, that's not her. Um We'll just do quick searches and all the ones from up to 1930, and then I think that's where we'll call it. Sam Brown. No, yeah, that's nothing. Um, okay, 1927. Nothing. About this one. Uh, Nothing. Uh, nope. Yeah, okay. None of those. Uh, oh, this is a weird orientation for this one. Search. Uh, no. No. Dang. Uh, okay, only like two more. Brown University, no. All right, this one, and then one more. Okay, Florence Brown, not who we're looking for. And this last one from 1930. Oh, okay, there's a decent number in this one. Bernard Brown. Sweet Vivian Brown. Yeah, okay, no, nothing there. Okay, dang. Hold on. What if I put Edna Brown? Nope. Not until way later, apparently, we get an Edna Brown. What about Edna P? Nope. Edna Price? No. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is. Huh. Dang. I think, yeah, we have hit a wall. Wow, this is. I think the least. This is, I think, the least information we've had on a person. Because unless we knew the year that she died, I would be able to narrow down at least like when to search like newspapers for her and everything. But without that, it's too general of a name. We already tried Edna P. Brown and Edna Price Brown, and that didn't work. All we know is that she died sometime between 1930 and 1964 because she was already dead when Amy passed away. Wow. All right. Well, I think that means then I can't think of anything else to do. Um, Hold on. Actually, I did think of one more thing. Just one more quick thing. I'll pull up Family Search real quick. I doubt we'll get anything on Family because actually we don't even know exactly what year she was born either. Let me go ahead and sign in here real quick. Uh, Okay. So Edna Rice Brown, Pennsylvania. Um, we'll try 1883. Okay, here we go. Do we have a... Okay, here we go. I don't think this is going to have any extra information. Yeah, because here, this is her, Edna P. Brown. Parents, siblings. Yep, this is them, but only four sources. And I think it's, yep, it's the census records we already have. um, okay. Yeah, so nothing new there, unfortunately. Dang. Hmm. Okay. Let me think. Okay, what if... Hold on. Reverend J. H. Brown. 18... Let's do 1862, or sorry, 1882 to 1885, Pennsylvania. Okay, mostly Wyoming County. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I want to see if we can find a birth record. If any of these look like potential birth records. Oh, I think that's a different one. Um, uh, so church service. Uh, we'll preach. Special service. Um, Meeting of the Presbyterian Church. President-elect. Uh, what is this? Oh, okay, that's him marrying somebody. Um, okay. So it doesn't look like there's a birth record for him. Hold on, wait. Maybe John? John H. Brown? Oh boy. uh, where is Shawnee? Hold on, where is Shawnee located? Because that's where Amy was born, right? Yes, Shawnee, Pennsylvania. Where is Shawnee located? What county? Township. Monroe County. Are any of these Monroe County? No. I mean, this is the nearest county. Yeah, no, these can't be him because it would be it would have Reverend in front of it because he was a pastor and there's nothing. So okay, so there aren't any birth records for him. Hey, Aeon, welcome on in. Thank you so much for lurking. Well, unfortunately, though, you kind of picked a bad time to lurk because we're kind of wrapping up here. Because yeah, we unfortunately don't really. We This is probably the least amount of information we've been able to find on somebody out of any of these people. Um, yeah, yeah. She was buried at the family plot at the Presbyterian Church of Shawnee. Okay, yeah. So what we were able to find today was that we know that uh Edna was likely born sometime around 1883. Um she grew up to become a physical trainer and was involved in like physical fitness. Um she at one point moved to Indiana for some reason. We don't know why. We have no idea why. And then moved back to New Jersey to live with her parents, where she lived with them for the rest of her life. And then that's kind of we know that she was a teacher, a physical teacher for Beringer High School in 1914 and 1915 and 1916. By 19 and then by 1920, yeah, she was still a teacher there. By 1930, she was a director of physical training, which could be mean anything. It could be another YMCA or YWCA. We don't know where. And then we know because of her sister's obituary that she is buried in the same plot at this church, but this church unfortunately is not available on any online database. So I think what I'm actually going to do is email this church and see if they have any information on on her, and if they can find her grave and maybe send me like a picture of it or just send me the information. Um but yeah, that's basically all we have. We're basically at a wall. Basically between 1930, we know she is alive in 1930 and she has passed away by 1964. So she dies sometime in between 1930 and 1964. But that's all we know, unfortunately. All right. So yeah, with that, I think let's go ahead and let's head on back to our class. Actually, wait, before we go, we haven't used him at all today. We need to ask Lewis here, this little peanut guy. We need to ask him. Let's see here, Lewis. How do you feel? Um, today went in terms of research.
What did I walk into?
You walked into not much, unfortunately. There really wasn't much to go off of. Like I said, this is the least amount of information that we've had. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and let's head on back uh to our office here. Oh, and yeah, forgot I left this up. So yeah, oh, and to give a little for those who maybe weren't here at the beginning of stream, I did talk about this. We have one more week's worth of research left. Next Wednesday will be the last stream of us researching this photo. On Sunday, we'll be researching Mabel Lewis here, number 24. And then next Wednesday, we'll research one more person. That is Henry Dunn, who owned this photo. And the purpose of that stream is going to be to try to figure out how this picture ended up going being from Pennsylvania to California. That's the goal. So, let's go ahead and let's close this away. Also, that after that stream on Wednesday, I think I will be taking about a week off um to just kind of, rest a little bit after streaming like consistently for like 4 months straight of doing this. I just want to give myself a little bit of break so I don't get too burned out with this. Because as much as I do love doing this, getting burned out is the last thing I want to do. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. This is a little bit of a shorter stream than what we normally do, but I think we still had some fun. If you are new here, I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. I do these streams every Sunday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we do history research and other history-related things. So if you are interested in that, maybe go ahead and leave a follow. I might do a gorilla stream this weekend. I make no promises. I have a lot of stuff I need to do this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, also I have linked down below my YouTube channel where we will be where I've been uploading shorts of various or of the various people that we've researched so far. So they're like little like summaries of like some of these streams. So if you want to check those out, make sure you go ahead and click that down below and help the almighty algorithm. All right, now we're gonna find somebody to raid, and I think we're gonna go ahead. We are going to raid uh Cassiel here. They're playing a game called Creature Kitchen. Let's go ahead and let's raid her. You guys can stick around for the raid, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right. So let me go ahead and make the raid message here. Uh, and then one more for followers. All right. So yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight, folks. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know this was a little bit of a kind of lackluster compared to some of our other ones that we've had recently, but sometimes that's how they are. And like I said, this is the least amount of information we've ever found. But I think we still had a good time. It was a very chill night, which honestly I kind of needed after after these past few ones, which have been like crazy and have had so much stuff and so many things, and it's like, oh my god, I can't fit all of it like in a stream. This one was the exact opposite. Uh, so so yeah, that'll be it for tonight. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, have a good night, everybody. Take care.